I'm doing some makeup investigating in today's video. I did a Plan to Pan 2025 video earlier in the year talking about all the products that I want to finish this year, and I mentioned that I am almost finished and plan to finish 3 of these NYX lip liners. And I received a comment saying, "Hi Tash, I heard that the NYX lip liners have been reformulated and the shades are warmer than the original. Can you do a comparison with the new Mauve liner before you empty it? That would be very helpful." I've mentioned it before, I have so many of these lip liners. This is my favorite lip liner formula, and Mauve is my all-time favorite perfect lip liner shade. So when I saw that they potentially had reformulated and changed their shades, I was very nervous. I went on TikTok to see what was being talked about, and it seems like a lot of people are saying the formula is different. I mainly saw people talk about the shades Nude Beige and Cold Brew. I didn't see anyone talk about Mauve Natural or Peekaboo Neutral, which are the 3 that I have. So my next step was to reach out to the brand. I contacted NYX's customer care team on their website. I gave them the batch numbers of the lip liners I have. I told them when I purchased them. I mentioned that I saw people on TikTok say that the difference between the formulas was talc had been removed, among a few other things. I asked if that was the case, and if I were to buy another NYX lip liner today, would it be the same as the one that I purchased back in, I think, November of 2021? So they essentially gave me a non-answer in a very professional way, and I don't know what I was expecting. I really didn't think that they would divulge potentially non-disclosed information to me, just an everyday consumer. I really wasn't expecting a response at all, so the fact that someone did take the time to get back to me was really nice, and they got back to me pretty quickly too. Because I wasn't finding the answers I was looking for, I decided to take the investigation into my own hands. Detective Tash is on the case. I went and purchased the 3 lip pencils myself. I got the same shades, Mauve Natural and Peekaboo Neutral, and we're going to be swatching them and trying them out side by side together. The sun will be going down soon, so I might have to turn my ring light on at some point. I will start with some side by side swatches on the back of my hand, and then do one side original, one side new, so that we can compare them on my face. I have freshly sharpened all 6 of these. I've already messed up the order, so I had to go wash some of this off and come back and do it again. Okay, so this top swatch here is Peekaboo Neutral. This first one is the original and this one is the new. The middle swatches are Mauve, so this side again is the original and this is the new side, and then the bottom, which I think is the most different, is the shade Natural. This one being the original and this one being new. I turned my ring light on because the sun is starting to set and I don't have a lot of light left in this room. And I just took a picture of the back of my hand in my bathroom with just more artificial lighting. I'm a little confused because in the bathroom photo, it looks like the new formula has a little more purple and the original has more brown, but it looks switched on my hand in real life. And I think you're able to see the difference even more between the natural shades in that photo. The original one has a lot more brown and the new formula is a lot warmer and looks much more pink. For Peekaboo Neutral, it looks like it's more or less the same shade but maybe more pigmented in the new formula. That might also be age related. My lip liners, I think, are a little over 3.5 years old. So let's do a before and after on my lips. I'll get you in really close. I'll start with the shade Peekaboo Neutral, putting the original shade on one half and the new shade on the other half. Let's zoom in to get as close as possible. So I have the original shade on this side. I believe that's your right side and my left. And then this side is the new one. I will say that the formula is just a touch creamier, just a very, very slight amount more creamy than the original. Again, that's likely due to age. But on my lips, I'm not seeing a big difference, so that's good. Again, like I said, they do look really similar. Maybe the newer one has just a tiny bit more pigment to it. So that's fine. I feel like that's close enough for me personally. Now let's do this with the other 2 shades. All right, next up is Natural. I have the original shade on this side and the new shade on this side. In real life, again, I'm not seeing the hugest difference. The new side is just ever so slightly warmer and more pink If I were to come up to you in person, I don't think that you would notice that I'm wearing two different shades on my lips, but because I'm really, really paying attention, I am seeing the difference. For me personally, even though I am seeing a little bit of a difference in person, it's a negligible enough difference for me. It definitely looks slightly dustier on the original side. It looks like the shade changed a little bit, but the shade Mauve, the one I saved for last, that's the one I'm really worried about because this is my favorite, my absolute favorite. And what I love about it is that it does have a dusty, more purple tone. So we'll see. And last but not least, the shade Mauve. It's just so perfect. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought. It's not exactly the same, but it's, again, just like the shade I just showed you. The difference is relatively negligible. You can see, I mean, I can see, I'm not sure if you can see on camera, but the original has a little more purple, and the new one, it looks very similar, but it just doesn't have that purple. Can you tell a difference? I would love to know what you're seeing. I'm curious to see what this looks like once I go back and edit, because sometimes the viewfinder isn't showing me the whole story. I turned my ring light off. There is not a lot of light left, so it's not really like the best way to look at it, but this is just another way to see it. It doesn't look too different in the viewfinder still, and I think it's the same level of depth, which is good. I understand in the grand scheme of things, this is not the end of the world, but based on how people were reacting in the TikToks, I was expecting the difference to be a lot bigger. Of course, I can't really speak on their experiences, but I am relieved to see that I'm not having the same reaction that they are. Like, yes, I do see the subtle differences, but for me, they're not necessarily deal breakers. I'm assuming over time, after I finish the original Mauve pencil, I will just enjoy using the new one and maybe not really notice the difference that much. Again, let me know what you think in the comments. And if you know of any pencils that are dupes for the original Mauve shade, please let me know. Maybe I can go in store and swatch them and compare them. And for your reference, I will put the batch numbers or the lot codes of all 6 of these pencils in the description box. Fortunately, I'm not sensing a big difference in the formula, so that's a relief. Like I said, when I was applying them, maybe the newer one felt just a touch creamier, but it doesn't mean that it's a creamy lip pencil now. That was everything I had to share with you. Let me know if you have any questions or if you want to see these swatched or compared in other ways. I hope this brought some clarity to the situation if you were also curious if there was any difference between older pencils and newer ones. But in the meantime, that's everything I have. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! I look like a ghost in this lighting. Like, I look like the same color as my sweater.